cartoon.
Cool species to see.
Especially when they're doing like this in the trees.
Yeah, they're not just like chilling and just slowly moving around. They're not flying off the ground.
Okay, everybody, we just road cruised our first herp of the day. This is actually my lifer ornate box turtle. We can just tell by the beautiful coloration on the plastron. This is a pretty smaller turtle. We got some photos and video of him or her. So the turtle's in its shell right now. Looks to be a female because it's got really brown eyes. But just a stunning coloration. We're gonna probably put the turtle in this direction and we're gonna keep on driving. But first herp that we've been able to get footage of today.
Yeah, I've never seen this age class before too. The only other yellow bellies I've seen have been either bigger than this or smaller than this.
So right here, this is my first pickerel frog outside of New England. Just, you can see, I don't know how well you can see it here, but the underside is actually yellow, and the pattern represents the more pickerel pattern. But it was literally just on the edge of this stream over here, and this is the frog is found. So a species that's pretty common up north, but you don't find them too often down south, so it's pretty cool. So this is a cave salamander that is just, its head is just sticking out in this crack here. So this guy right here is a cave salamander who is making his way back into his cave. These are pretty good size salamanders too, but he's just on the move right now, and got some pretty good photos of him, and yeah, we'll let him do his thing and keep on moving. So we got what I think is a slimy salamander right there. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's a slimy salamander of some complex. See if I can get a couple photos of it, and then we'll keep on going.
I got so confused when I flipped it because it looked like a whirl salamander. I'm like, what?
Okay everyone, we have just road cruised, and this is another three-toed box turtle, a younger individual. You can see like really dark markings on the plastron, and on the carapace there's some streaks. Initially when I saw this, his head's kind of poking out a little right there. Initially when I saw this, I thought it could potentially be an ornate three-toed hybrid, but I think that the younger three-toed just get this coloration. So I'm pretty sure this is the 7th three-toed box turtle that we have found out in the field, and this I think is the 6th one that we've road cruised, and it's around the same spot that we found the last one in, literally on the same stretch of road. I'm just gonna put this turtle in the direction that was going, which is over there. We actually have been away from the field for a few days, so it's not, I think we had a stretch, we had like 5 box turtles in 4 days that we cruised. But this, we had a little bit of a gap, and we come our first day back out in the field, and we have another box turtle. So there you go. I'm just gonna let this guy be and keep on driving.
Showing up. how small this lens is. I'll show you my favorite ribbon picture in West Texas. Anything but it's a bit more humid.
Alright, so Dean just flipped one of our main targets here in Oklahoma. This is a speckled king snake. It is currently in shed right now, which doesn't make it the most glamorous photo, but nonetheless, this is a lifer snake for me, and it's one that we've been really struggling to find, to say the least, but we're just posing it for photos right now, and even in shed, it's just an absolutely stunning snake. So yeah, this has been a really big find and a pretty good herping day overall.
It's interesting, you know. Yes.
What's that?
So right here, this is the second speckled king that we've gotten the last 2 days. We just flipped this guy underneath some tin, and what an absolutely stunning snake is just chilling here on my arm. That's so cool. It's wrapped around my hand right now. Here's a speckled king. The one that we found yesterday was in shed, so it wasn't too pretty, but this one you can see here is absolutely vibrant. Just a really stunning snake, and you just love the pattern on these guys. So we're just going to finish up getting some photos. There's the snake on its good side. And we're gonna keep on moving.
Is charged. Yeah, this one's charged, but it's not that good battery.
Down.
I'm not in your shot at all, right?
So we've just flipped this little baby three-toed box turtle under this tin right over here. It's been and continues to be the year of the box turtle. So we're just gonna release him right in here and see what he does. Alright everyone, how's it going? I am right now somewhere in western Oklahoma. I am driving out to a site right now to look for one specific species, and that is a western diamondback rattlesnake. I have not been able to find this species yet, and it's been one of my main targets in Oklahoma. As you can see by the foliage, it is actually November right now, but it's pretty warm currently, 74 degrees, so I'm hoping the snakes will be out. Maybe they're congregated around rocky, overwintering sites and they're just out enjoying some sun, but I've still got a little bit of a drive to go, but I will touch back with you once I get to the site, or unless I find something else along the way. Well, we've got nothing still, but it's just, as I mentioned earlier, places like this, where the views, the landscapes, the habitats, you don't have to find anything. It's just so awesome to be out here. I'm just taking a minute to sit on this rock slide. I was hoping that we would come across an Atrox or a Western Massasauga, maybe just sunning itself on a rock here, but it's not the case. But it's okay. It's just really cool to be in a place like this, and sometimes you just gotta take in all the views and take a second to reflect on everything, and this is just such a cool place to be. And here it is, my lifer western diamondback rattlesnake. This individual was found by a pair of herpers that we ran into who were exploring some rocky outcrops in the Ozark Plateau of eastern Oklahoma, pretty close to the Arkansas border. We put the snake on this gravel road for several minutes, and as you can see, it posed pretty nice for photos. Finding a western diamondback has been pretty high on my list of herps to see here in Oklahoma. The reason being is that the western diamondback is such a charismatic species to the southwestern United States, and in places like Arizona and West Texas, they are so ubiquitous that they're often overlooked by many and considered to be a nuisance. In Oklahoma, there are places where this snake is pretty locally abundant, but throughout much of the state, they're virtually absent. But to see this western diamondback in a place where timber rattlesnakes also occur was pretty significant, and I could not think of a better spot to find my lifer. But I think what's really interesting about this find is that it goes to show you how unique Oklahoma is in terms of its reptile and amphibian biodiversity. With the Ozark Plateau and the Ouachita Mountains resembling much of an Appalachian landscape in the eastern part of the state, and the many grasslands and prairies in the western part of the state, what you see in Oklahoma is many western species and many eastern species at the extent of their range coming together in the state. And that's why you get to see Atrox and Horridus in the same place, which to me, as a pit viper enthusiast, is pretty freaking cool. The other interesting thing about Oklahoma is its climate. The temperature fluctuations here are more extreme than in any other place that I've lived in. When I first arrived in Oklahoma back in September, temperatures every day were between 90 and 100 degrees Fahrenheit, and it was scorching hot. But as the fall progressed, the temperatures dropped pretty significantly, and it resembled more of a New England fall than what I would expect for a fall to be like this far south in the US. So as a result, what we saw was a pretty steep decline in snake activity towards the end of October. So I was pretty surprised that several days into November, at night, that we were able to find this western diamondback. And it's very likely that this will be the last snake that I will see in Oklahoma, as temperatures are just too darn cold at the time of recording this video for snakes to be active. But I couldn't think of any other snake that I would rather see if I could only find one more in Oklahoma.